What's up, people? Welcome to the Carlton Collingwood preview, the first of two for 2021. This is really what it's all about, isn't it? There's so much to say, so much emotion. Collingwood's one of those teams, for me anyway. I've grown up in a generation where the stories have been passed down to me as to how great the Carlton Football Club is, and I was taught about the Carlton-Collingwood rivalry from the generation before me. It was passed down. It's in mine, and it's in our Carlton blood. But unfortunately, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we just haven't really shown up. We haven't really been able to come to the party, and we haven't really been able to talk back to Collingwood. And we've had to sit here and just cop it and just wait. We had this rebuild, and we've been waiting for these boys to get that 50 games experience to then be able to impact games for long enough. And I just feel like, and I went really hard last year in 2020, as all of you who watched last year's content know. I was very confident that was our time. The stars were aligned, the game plan was working, it was clicking, it was all set up. It was before the footy frenzy happened in 2020 with the 4 games in 13 days. I think it might have been the first game. And the one thing that resonates with me in 2021 from 2020, and we've just had round 1 in against Richmond, is the belief. And my main thing going into this week is, do the boys really believe that they're going to beat Collingwood this week? Because really trying to keep this under wraps. I don't want to act like a pork chop, but something happens on the inside when it comes to such games. And there's only a couple of teams that do it for me. Essendon brings out a dark side in me that very few teams do, and Collingwood's the other one. But it's been there, sleeping, and I haven't been able to let it go. And when is it gonna end? When is the trend of losing to Collingwood consistently going to end is really the question for me this week. I know that we can't say that one game is more important than the next because they're all there for 4 points, but it's just not the case with Collingwood this week. It's just not. I watched them very closely on Friday night. They're impressive. I have a lot of respect for Collingwood and their players, and they're well coached and they're well drilled and all of that. And, as human beings, you always give respect. But as a football club, I give them 0. I said it last year, and I'll say it again. They're a shit football club. Shit people. Really. At their core, they are a failure of a football club. They are. It's ingrained in their club's history. Failed grand finals. Coming up short. It's who they are. Ridiculous off-season. Let's talk about their off-season for a moment. They shaft their own players, and then Adam Treloar gets his first disposal last Friday night, and their first reaction in the crowd is to boo. And then towards the end of the game, obviously, they cheer for him and whatnot, but it's really just Eddie Maguire is a microcosm for who Collingwood is. Their first reaction is the honest reaction. Eddie Maguire's first reaction to the Adam Goodes booing saga where he pointed at the little girl. His first reaction the very next morning was to make the reference to King Kong. Then he had to come out the next day and apologise. Eddie Maguire's first reaction to this systemic racism report coming out, his first reaction, the first words that came out of his mouth were about how it was a proud and historic day for the Collingwood Football Club. Then he had to backtrack and fix it. It's ingrained in that football club. It's ingrained in them. That's who they are. They're not a good football club. We know that. Their own fans know it. I have a lot of respect for Swoop Luke. He's the Collingwood YouTuber who runs a Collingwood fan channel. A lot of respect for Luke. Love the way he goes about it. But I watch his content. I watch his fans comment in his comment section against him. They're divisive against him because he's trying to spread a good message about the racism issue and about bringing such things to light. And their own fans don't even want to accept it. It just makes my blood boil. It really does. And I'm sick and fucking tired of losing to Collingwood. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of giving them this great respect because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They really don't. They've done nothing since they won their flag in 2010. It's been hype. Nathan Buckley might be a great man, but he's a fraud. Let's get that out there. Collingwood fans know it. I've seen it all. I've watched very closely to the reaction. I've even seen Swoop Luke ask for a friend, when can you sack Buckley during the season, or can it happen? I've seen it. They know. They know their time is coming to an end. They know deep down within their souls, they know that this window of theirs, that 2018 group that made the granny and choked, they know that it's coming to an end. They know that Carlton will get ahead of the ledger. They know. However, those are all great words until our boys start doing it and really doing it for 4 quarters. It's just talk. That's the reality of the situation. I can come on here and give you, my prediction and how we beat them and whatnot. For me, it really comes down to, I feel like the talent is not dissimilar in different areas of the ground. For me, it's who's going to be tough enough for long enough. And, you go back to 2020, we had them at halftime. I think Collingwood, in the depths of their minds, they have the mental edge over us. They always believe that no matter what, they're going to beat Carlton because of how bad we've been. We deserve that. We deserve that mentality. We deserve no respect from the competition that we haven't really received from the competition. No one tips us to make the finals apart from one captain, which I can assume would be our own. And I'm not going to complain about that because that's well deserved. And we're 0-1. They're 0-1. We've played some pretty good footy against Richmond. They looked like they were struggling to score against the Dogs. They couldn't get the ball out of the Western Bulldogs' front half. And that's really a game that we are trying to play. Keep the ball in our front half, apply pressure, and score off turnover. And I'm nervous, absolutely nervous. But I have a genuine belief that this is the game where we turn it around. This is the one. It's this Thursday night at the MCG. We have a home game, so we know that we're going to be represented more so in the crowd than what they will. That's not to say that they're not going to be loud, because they're a passionate fan base. You've got to give them that kind of credit. And I will. They're a passionate fan base, just as passionate as what we are about our club. And so, for me, it's for us to change the results against Collingwood. Our boys are going to have to do something that they've never done before. They're going to have to reach into the depths of their existence to do something, to find something within that they haven't been able to do against this Collingwood group since 2017. That's the last time we beat Collingwood. Unbelievable, unacceptable, and enough is enough. And you look at the group then, you look at the group now, there's a lot of maturity in these young kids of ours that have now become men, that are now hitting that 22, 23-year-old age bracket. And there's no more excuses. There can't be any more excuses. Like, when is it going to fucking end? When? When is the penny going to drop? When are these boys going to get over the hump of not knowing how to win and learn that they've worked so hard for however long they've worked to start winning games of footy and just do it? And, Zach Williams coming in is massive. He gives us, I think, a bit more confidence at stoppage. Collingwood love a retention game. They can leak at stoppages. Grundy's a good tap ruckman, but at times, if you play him right, he doesn't necessarily always hit the ball to advantage. Zach Williams, it's pretty poetic, to be honest, that he's making his debut against Collingwood, which was the team that all the hype around him came for, as to why we would recruit him to play in the midfield, because all we heard about was, but he look at what he did against Collingwood in the 2019 prelim. So that's going to be a big one for us. At the time of making this video, I don't know if Jack Martin's going to be available. If he is, I would dare say he's going to definitely be in the side. Those two alone are going to give us another layer of tenacity and intensity around the ball. That we definitely need to beat Collingwood, because mentally, that's the one thing I'm mindful of when we get into that red time in the fourth quarter, because I'm very confident that this is going to be a cracking contest. I really am. And when the whips are cracking and it's red time and they're tired and their legs are tired And it really goes down to who's got the mental edge to keep going for longer. That's the next step for our group, for Carlton. That's how I see it anyway. Tactically, we know what we need to do, but it's for me, it's an emotional battle. It's a battle of the mind. It's a battle of keeping your emotions under wraps. And if we're going to be panicking under pressure and bombing the ball inside 50 to Darcy Moore, who, mind you, is God. He's next level. I watched him closely on Friday night. He has gone into a stratosphere, and it's not that it's just happened this year. It's been bubbling. He's the best defender in the league for me, bar none. It's Darcy Moore. He is unbelievable, and he's a key for us to not allow to have influence. It's a massive key. And I look at Harry Mackay, who I think he's only a centimetre shorter than Darcy Moore, and a lot rides on Harry. I'm not saying that Harry's the key to winning, but Harry's one of the most important pieces to our scoring chain. And you look at the way Darcy Moore attacks the footy, reaches his arms out and works hard and absorbs contact. That's what I want to see from Harry Mackay this week. A lot of the fans were obviously, a bit frustrated with his immaturity last week with some of the opportunities. And I'm putting the pressure on him. The pressure on him. I'm putting pressure on guys like Mark Murphy, who didn't show enough effort, in my opinion, last week. And I don't think you can drop him for Collingwood, because without Simo there, Murphy's now the only one really left in this group. Maybe Casbolt, but it's really Murphy who, can show them what it's all about. Collingwood is not a normal game. This is a final. It really is. The intensity is and the spirit in the crowd is that of a final. You cheer that 10 or 15% louder when we score a goal. You feel the pain 10 or 15% more when we get a goal scored against us or when we lose the game. And this is really what it's all about, isn't it? Having fans there again. This is really what it's all about. Two teams who cannot afford to go 0-2. There's so much pressure on either side. And I really just can't wait. So just to recap, my changes, what I'm looking at the moment, it's Zach Williams and Jack Martin in for Jack Silvani, who's hurt his shoulder, and I think Lockie O'Brien will come out. I think Oscar McDonald can stay as the sub. I think that's a good option there. I think Levi will be better for the run. I think Harry will be better for the run. I think a few of them will. And listen, it has to happen. This has to be the one. It has to be this Thursday night. This has to be the game where we beat Collingwood. They're there for the taking, and everyone knows it. But that doesn't make any sense unless we do it. So that's how I feel about it. I cannot wait. I really can't. I can't wait to see who stands up in the moments. And that's really what it's all about. Who's going to stand up in those moments? We know those moments are coming. We know that Collingwood have experience in those moments. A lot of their players have played in big games, big finals, grand finals. And so I look forward to the challenge, and I just hope our boys are up to it. I hope that they're ready to take fucking ownership for this battle. And themselves and the football club. It's time. It's time to take ownership for their careers and their performances. Like, enough is enough, please. So that's how I feel. But listen, you guys at home, let me know. How are you feeling about this one? What are your inklings as to how it's going to play out? Let me know your changes as well. I've flagged Martin and Williams, but if you have any other changes to make, let me know. Tactically, what are you looking at? Like, how do you actually beat Collingwood? What's the blueprint? Let me know what you see, and let me know if you're going to be there. And I look forward to reading through your thoughts and then looking at them after the game and seeing where we sit. Good luck getting tickets. It's a big, big week. It's a big fucking week. Have a good one, and go the Mighty Blues.